Welcome to the Trinity University of Asia, where we introduce a starting unit of each team. You have Velasco starting again, along with Lasa, Sergio, the other veteran, Kabahug, and the newcomer, Injawar Purdy, and then for Malolos, Mighty Bulsu, you have Barrientes, you have De La Cruz starting things up. You also have Ernie Reyes, Dominic Fajardo, and Mark Pangilinan. And Dominic Fajardo right here had a good start also in the last game, but we noted his strong finish in their win against Marikina, starting things off with a long two-bomb.
And nothing like starting a ball game with a three-point shot in front of Nick Velasco. So that definitely will help him out.
For Pateros right here, it's good that they start things early also. They start things hot. And earlier, Mark Oliano showing them his wares, as you have the veteran again in Sergio, trying to locate and get their newcomers started. There's a three, but didn't go down the barrel.
Pat, expect them to really look for Purdy every single time down the floor. They really want to see what this guy can do.
And this guy was actually drafted in the PBA. We were talking about it. But what's most impressive, if you already noticed with the speed that he quickly picked up, this guy was a champion in his high school in the 100-meter dash.
So obviously speed is not an issue with Jawar Purdy. But, you know, Purdy, what he needs to do, what we are looking for in his game is, we know that he can get to the basket. We know that he has the handles. But what he needs to be able to do is get his teammates involved, because that's what's really been missing for Pateros.
Well, let's see if he knows them well enough. He tries to take the contact right there, and a foul will be called against number 7, De La Cruz. So he's shown speed, he's shown he's not afraid to take the contact, and he's really trying to locate his other players. But so far, Sergio right here will be inbounding the leather, as playing coach Nick Velasco has some clarifications with the table officials. We're just trying to check if that first basket was actually a three-pointer. Earlier, as we take a look at that unit right there of Coach Tayao. And Coach Tayao, actually, one of the things that he prides himself of is that his team, the core of this Malolos Mighty Bulsu, the ones that are coming from the Bulacan State University, were the champions in the recently concluded UCLAA or UCLAA, and they played against Pampanga's Colegio de Sebastian, and of course the core of Bulsu won all of their assignments. So they're coming into this game with of course a lot of confidence, and let's see how Nick Velasco's squad can neutralize that early.
And you know, that's one of the things, that's the advantage when it's a school-based team, because the chemistry is not really, or not too much of a factor, because you're able to practice consistently together and find out how players are.
So that's the tale of two stories that we have right here. Two different squads right here in terms of their preparation and in terms of chemistry, and we'll just see if it'll just boil down to skills, and that's what Purdy's trying to show.
You know, one thing, the biggest advantage that Pateros has is having Nick Velasco and Coach Ali Peak, because these guys are here to be able to teach these guys to bring them to that next level.
Our score so far, 3-2, according to our official scoreboard right here at the FBA. We are here at the Trinity University of Asia, where you have Bulsu scoring off of that move, and basket will count right there for Bulsu. And Pangilinan, who didn't play in the previous games, coming into this ball game as a starter, actually tells you a lot about the confidence the coach has in him. You see how he used his body to get into position, draw the foul, and will troop to the line for a bonus.
And it really didn't matter to him if he had a bigger guy in front of him. He just used his smarts. He was able to use his feet to be able to get the 2 points.
Malolos ahead, 5-2. And Lasa over here, if I'm correct, he's the Phil Canadian on the roster of Coach Nick Velasco.
And he's one of the guys that has started out this conference for Pateros. Ever since that first game, he's been in that lineup.
Nick's going to be taking this three, a little offline.
But Nick Velasco, in his second game as a playing coach, and in that first game, he actually played 30 minutes, 30 out of the 40 minutes.
Well, he needed that. He needed some more firepower. It's not that he didn't believe in his squad, but this team right here even suffered from an injury in one of their reliables. They don't have Edmar Pateno on their lineup, and this guy scored 8 points. So that's 8 big points that could have been contributed to this ball game as Cabahug scores another.
You know, and the good thing about Nick Velasco is he knows the game. He's a professional. He's played in the PBA a number of seasons, and he's here to be able to help his team. You know, he's not out here to be able to prove something for himself, but really to be able to make his team better, teach them how to sacrifice.
No pot of goal at the end of that rainbow shot over there, but again, taking contact. De La Cruz, the battle underneath. Referee says there's a foul that will be called against the white shirts.
Yeah, there were games and there were stretches in those games that Pateros actually had a lot of good things going for them. But the problem is when that chemistry is not there just yet, something that you need to work on, it's not consistent.
Chris Caulfield checking in this ball game to replace Winston Sergio.
Caulfield, one of those guys that really they are looking to him to be able to give them that speed, that quickness, get those points off that transition.
Chris Caulfield in their last outing contributed 6 points, but more than that, it's just his court sense and to also get everyone going. What a shot right there. Count that for Pangilinan.
That's one of the few times that you see that he actually knocked down the shot and he was called for the foul after. He was trying to look for the contact, but was not able to sell it to the referees. Actually pulled down Lasa after making that shot.
So they're going to count that long two bomb right there, but he'll be called for a foul. We're on the side right now of Pateros. A lot of contact and a lot of ball right there. Lasa getting it through.
John Lasa, one of those guys that slowly but surely getting his confidence going here in the FBA.
Balagtas. Malolos going against De La Cruz, calling the shot against Purdy. Malolos in the paint, tries to squeak one through, uses the glass, gets it.
And what you notice about the team from Malolos is all of them have that individual skill, and they're not afraid to get to the basket.
That was such a pretty play. Nice feed right there by Caulfield to Cabahug with a nice finish. Here's Caulfield again. The complexion of this game just changed with Caulfield there.
All of a sudden, things got quicker, and you expect both teams to try to push that basketball and get open looks.
Arambulo short on that attempt earlier. Here's De La Cruz. Selfless play. Could have been nice, but their top scorer just couldn't finish.
Well, he wanted to be able to get that 1-on-4 break that he was not able to get that layup. He wanted to get it back and actually get that extra pass, but not able to knock down that layup.
Caulfield right at the corner. Out to Purdy on top of the key. He's got Reyes in front of him, and he gets it through. That's a three.
So Jawar Purdy with his first 3 points in the FBA. They're hoping that that'll get him going.
Good start right here for both squads. More than halfway through this opening quarter, Pateros on top 13-11. And they've got a chance to extend this with Caulfield getting a feed from Purdy. They locate a free shooter, couldn't get it to go. Reyes on the move against Purdy, uses the glass, draws the foul, gets the bucket.
You know, that's one of the things that you see, the confidence for Malolos. Reyes getting the 2 points. He knew exactly what to do. When you look at him, not really the best looking basketball player in terms of the size, but he knows what to do. He knows to use his strength. And you know, when I say that, it is with utmost trying to give him the best because he knows it. He knows what to do to be able to score.
And he's always been, though he did miss on that bonus, he's always been the lethal weapon of their coach Tayao. And why not? He's always been reliable, not just in this particular conference, but in the past conferences where we've seen the Malolos Mighty Bulsu succeed here in the FBA. He's always been the go-to guy. Let's see, though, how the rest of the Malolos Mighty Bulsus will continue to fare. Ball game tied at 13, and there's a travel called against Purdy.
You know, going back to Ernest Reyes, you know, one thing I like about him, he's just always aggressive. And, you know, he just keeps on plugging away. And, you know, just going back to that statement that I said, you know, his moves may not be the prettiest, but it's so effective.
Right. And let's take a look at that one again. Look at that. Using his body. Just couldn't get that to go, but he was all over that, though it's Balagtas that got the tip in. Arambulo to Lasa. Or check that. They go to Cofield, pass too strong. Here's Malolos, the Mighties, with Ernest de la Cruz. Getting bothered right there by Arambulo. And Coach Nick Velasco will be calling for a quick timeout on the floor. They'll try to get back this lead. We have a 15-13 ball game right here at the Trinity University of Asia. This is the FBA. Do stay stuck. Welcome back to the FBA. Patricia Bermudez, he's on alongside Dominic Uy. We've got Ernest Reyes on that line right now to try to extend the lead of the Malolos Mighty Bulsus. Now, during that timeout of Coach Nick, of course, Ali Peak, the assistant coach, took over that huddle. What is it that you guys talked about? I noticed that you guys had a lengthy conversation before this ball game started.
You know, actually, we were talking about
Life
Ali
in
Peak
general.
coming out of retirement. But can you imagine if he starts up in the FBA and it becomes a Velasco Ali Peak for Pateros? Oh my goodness.
Oh, people are going to be hurting on that floor, seriously. Especially on the receiving end of Ali Peak's aggression that he's been keeping for quite some time.
Oh, definitely. You know, he's been out of the game for what, 2 years? But now with a brand new back and injury and pain-free, those things will not happen.
Exactly. Ernest Reyes, though, having a lot of fun right there underneath that basket, having his way against the defenders inside the paint of the white shirts. So quick passing right there. Couldn't get that offense going. Ball will go to Malolo's side.
That's just been too easy for Ernest Reyes getting the points inside. Definitely something that Coach Ali Peak not liking what he's seeing so far.
And we'll be back for more of your FBA after this timeout called by the Malolos Mighty Bulls. Welcome back to the Filsports Basketball Association, where we are having our last game day for the first round of eliminations. Here in our second conference, you have the Pateros Associates trying to get back into form right here and cutting down that lead little by little with Purdy.
Well, they were scoreless the past 2 minutes, and Malolos was actually on an 8-0 run before the 2 points of Purdy.
Look at that defense, though, of Cofield and Purdy, giving Malolos a tough time to set up right here. And that defense paying off. Here's Cofield bringing that ball down. Going all the way. Couldn't get it to go down, though.
The guards of Pateros need to be able to put that pressure on the big men of Malolos, because the big men of Malolos have definitely been winning the battle down low.
And mostly that's on Reyes' part, who's
Definitely
asking for that leather. Let's see how they'll play this one. They'll try to go on top, trying to shake off that defense. The feed underneath, miscommunication, and here comes Purdy. Full speed ahead, the spin, taking it off the glass. It's good.
You know, this league is just made for guys like Jawar Purdy, because you're not given that chance. Haven't really seen him too much. But with the FBA, this will give him his talent to be able to be showcased and seen by everyone.
Look at Dominic Fajardo. Uses his smarts to go through that defense and takes it off the glass.
And that's what we're talking about, the Philams. And what about the Filipinos that are based here in the Philippines? This will give them also an opportunity to be able to mix things up with the other guys. And that's all, you know, in competition, in basketball, whatever sport, the more you're exposed to better talent, the better your game gets.
And I think that's also the key to Malolos having won the intense UCLA competition against the best colleges and university programs up north. And so exposure and playing against talented players such as Purdy and the rest of them will only make Malolos Mighty Bulsus better.
You know, just look at going back to the first conference of the FBA, UP winning that
right
one. And right, coming into the UAAP, building that confidence, winning, you know, there are 3 games in that first round. That's what the FBA does.
Less than a minute remaining here in our opening quarter, and look at that high looper using the glass as well. You've got Delis scoring anew. 2-point ball game on the floor, 26 seconds to go. 16 on the shot clock for the red shirts. Here's Fajardo. Looking for De La Cruz. De La Cruz had a couple of pretty points at the start of this ball game, and he's trying to add another one, just couldn't get it to bite. Opportunity for the white shirts, nice pass. Finds the open man. Couldn't get it to drop, but second serving is good.
They're going to need to be able to help them out. Delis coming off the bench, providing that spark, helping to tie this quarter after the first 10 minutes, 21 all.
Looking good for Pateros Associates right here against the onslaught, the early onslaught of the Malolos mighty Bulsus. We'll be back for more of your FBA right here from the Trinity University of Asia.